will now come to order. We have some administrative items. We have lots of announcements. I'm going to hold my announcements until the start of the development review items. But I will say that this is the 30th virtual meeting held by the Prince George's County Planning Board to propel Prince George's County forward. And we're really happy to do that. So good morning, everyone. And we continue to have these meetings virtually for the safety of our public and for our applicants, for our many stakeholders, and of course for our staff as we continue to propel Prince George's County forward. So the first order of business is we have the draft minutes from the, well, first let me do a check. I can see everyone, but for the record, I want to make sure that we're clear that we have with us today our planning board members. We have Vice Chair Bailey, and we have Commissioner Washington, Commissioner Dorner, and Commissioner Dorner and Commissioner Giraldo. So it is great to see everyone. And with
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Good morning. So we're going to start with item 2, which is a motion for the draft minutes of the November 19th, 2020 meeting. Is there a motion?
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Washington, seconded by Vice Chair Bailey. Vice Chair Bailey?
Aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Good night.
The ayes have it 5-0. Thank you. And then item 3C, we have the proposed FY22 through 27 CIP presentation. I know it's going to, the presentation will be given by Aaron Waller, who does this year in, year out spectacularly. But we first would like to turn to our Director of Parks and Recreation. That's not it. Director of Parks and Recreation, Bill Tyler.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Madam Vice Chair and members of the Planning Board. For the record, Bill Tyler, the Director of the best Parks and Recreation Department in the land. As we continue to grapple with COVID-19 and the impact on the Department of Parks and Recreation, I would like to point out that we persisted in implementing and improving our capital improvement program. The following major CIP projects are nearing completion. Tucker Road Ice Rink, which I was on a community meeting the other night, and they are so excited about this facility. College Park Woods Connected Trail, I was passing there several weeks ago, and people are excited about that and on that trail right now. Rollins Avenue Park and the Southern Regional Technical Recreation Center, which is also known as South Tech Rec Aquatics. The core values identified in the Formula 2040 Functional Master Plan for Parks and Recreation and Open Space guide what we do as a department, including development of the proposed CIP. The core values are preservation of open space, connectivity, health and wellness, economic development, and social equity. And we're continuing to make significant improvements in our process, project management, and project completion. So I just want to thank you for your continued support and guidance. And with that, I will hand it over to Mr. Aaron Waller.
Okay, Mr. Waller. Thank you, Mr. Tyler. Mr. Waller?
Good morning.
Good morning.
For the record, I am Aaron Waller, the Department of Parks and Recreation Capital Improvement Program Budget Manager, here to present the department's proposed fiscal year 2022 to fiscal year 2027 Capital Improvement Program budget. If there are no initial questions, I will begin by reviewing the transmittal letter.
Okay. And we all have that in front of us.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
The proposed FY22 to 27 Capital Improvement Program is prepared and informed by the department's capital budget goals, which focus on financial sustainability, maintenance of existing parks and recreation infrastructure, and ensuring sufficient staff capacity to execute the work program. As Bill stated, Formula 2040 Functional Master Plan for Parks and Recreation and Open Space, as well as the Land Preservation Parks and Recreation Plan, guide the recommendations in the proposed CIP. And Formula 2040 specifically identifies an annual capital reinvestment funding rate of 2% of the capital asset base. The the capital asset value is $525 million, and the target rate of 2% equates to $10.5 million. This is the annual target amount for reinvesting in our existing infrastructure. However, during past recessionary periods, this target was not met. But over the past 3 years, we were able to exceed the target and address deferred infrastructure needs. Continuing that effort, and the primary focus of the proposed FY22 to 27 CIP is to continue investing in existing infrastructure. A key part of the department's strategy is to incorporate a feasibility study methodology into the planning process that allows the department to evaluate, prioritize, and plan renovations to existing parks and facilities, and to target new projects to meet identified needs. The feasibility study approach also provides confirmation of project viability, scope, schedule, and budget. This is consistent with the goals of a financially sustainable CIP, which is to preserve a significant amount of fiscal capacity for the next steps upon completion of feasibility studies. In this way, it provides the planning board and the county council the financial latitude to make decisions based on the outcomes of pending feasibility studies. The priorities of the proposed FY22 to 27 CIP are renovation of some critical parks, playgrounds, fields, facilities, and other amenities, trail renovations and support for new trail extensions and development, park facility safety improvements, ADA and code compliance improvements, as well as a focus on projects that help us minimize the impact to our operating budget moving forward. Attachment A to the transmittal letter is the Department of Parks and Recreation's proposed FY22 to 27 CIP in detail for your consideration. The CIP is a 6-year program for park acquisition, development, and infrastructure maintenance. The first year, FY22, represents the capital budget, with the remaining 5 years targeted for planning purposes. On page 3 of the transmittal letter, the first table details the proposed FY22 capital budget year funding request of $58.18 million. This is a 21% year-over-year decrease from the adopted FY21 CIP budget. And the full 6-year request over the period is $215.28 million, a 15% decrease compared to the FY21 to FY26 CIP budget. We also note that nearly 80% of the proposed FY22 to 27 CIP is PAYGO funded, which is a more cost-effective way to fund capital projects. And general obligation bond funding has been used to a limited extent, with only 18% of the overall plan period assumed to be bond finance. The remaining project funding is through program open space and developer contributions. The proposed FY22 to 27 CIP budget is within the guidelines set by the Spending Affordability Committee. The second table on page 3 summarizes the funding for the proposed CIP by project type, broken down into 5 categories: acquisition, infrastructure maintenance, new construction and development, trails, and another category. And you'll see subtypes within the acquisition and infrastructure categories. And you'll note the last column in that table identifies that 76% of the total investment is geared towards renovating and maintaining our existing park and recreation system. questions with regard to any of the funding?
I don't know that there are any questions in your remaining 5 minutes, Mr. Waller. But if there's other things you would like to highlight, and then we can see if there's any questions before we go on to our next item.
Okay.
Okay. In your remaining
Okay.
5 minutes.
All right. Moving on to the table on page 5. This summarizes the CIP requests received from citizens during the public budget forums held by the Planning Board in September and October of this year. And a number of these requests are currently under evaluation by the department. However, you will note there are items that were requested that were already in the planning stages, and we are actively completing feasibility studies for the North College Park area indoor rec facility. We are looking at the renovation and about to execute the renovation of the Rolling Crest Chillum Community Center. Of course, we are working on the Glendale Hospital development and a new project, the Dueling Creek Heritage Trail is a new request that is included in the proposed CIP. With that, we are taking a look at all of the requests and evaluating the proposals and looking at including them in future feasibility study efforts. With that, I would like to recommend that the department's CIP, proposed CIP for FY22 to FY27 is given approval, and we receive permission to transmit the program to the Prince George's County Executive as well as the County Council for their consideration.
Thank you so much, Mr. Waller. You do a stellar job as always. And what's really important here is it's very hard because we have competing demands from all over the community for additions, for extensions, for renovations, for so many other things, and it's challenging, and yet we must find balance regarding the various councilmatic districts, and we must be fiscally prudent. And thankfully you do that, and you work in conjunction with the counties, Prince George's County's Spending Affordability Committee, and we've stayed within our parameters year in and year out, no matter what the challenges are. So you're to be commended on that. I'm going to see right now if there are any questions for you. Madam Vice Chair?
Thank you, job well done. I don't have any questions, but just a comment about we have a number of where the request is being evaluated, and I guess if citizens who propose these requests, if they're interested, they would contact us to find out the status of where that request is.
Correct. Correct. So we received a number of requests, and we have the contact information for the various individuals that have submitted items, and we will reach back out to let them know our plans moving forward.
Oh, okay, so we reach back out to them. Okay, good. All righty, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Washington?
No questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Giraldo?
I have no questions. I just want to thank for the presentation. I know that there are a lot of competing interests, and we're doing the best to satisfy the wishes of the county residents. So thank you.
Thank you. And Commissioner Dorner?
So I just have a small question, and I'll just start off by saying thank you for all the hard work and for the good presentation. Number 13, since you mentioned, I was actually looking at the list for the Dueling Creek Heritage Trail. Is that the trail that runs out up by Colmar Manor Community Park, like on the backside where you've got the bridge down to Dueling Creek?
That is correct.
Okay, so in consideration of that, we have to do a better job at marking that trail. For the people that are out there and that are familiar with it, they know where to start and go, but it's terribly marked. There's an asphalt drive that goes from the parking area back to where the trails start, but there's really no good signage to know where to get in, either on either end of where it starts or where it ends later on. And there's no good signage when you kind of get back into the trails about knowing when to stop and then not kind of keep going past the stormwater kind of drainage that runs along the Anacostia. So if you could just think about also including just signage that would tell people where to go, in addition to nice kind of ways of giving the historical context around the creek and kind of what happened. That would be good. That would be really helpful and make it an even nicer trail than it is already.
Okay, I will definitely take that feedback, and just to let you know, so this project is to actually extend this trail, as well as there is another project that we are working comprehensively across the county, across all of our trails, to improve signage, replace existing signage, as well as improve the signs that we have and fill in spots where we need additional signage. So I will take this feedback and work with our trail planning folks and definitely make those recommendations.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
Madam Chair, Commissioner Gerald, I have one observation,
okay,
if I could make it.
yeah, it's fairly succinctly, okay, thank you.
Okay, so, it'll be very succinctly, and I don't know if there's anything we could do. I know that the Wilson Bridge Trail is extremely popular and gets very crowded. The thing that's been disconcerting to me, again, I don't know if there's something you could do, is that probably 65% of the people are not masked.
We have our
So
police.
I don't know if there's anything we can do with that, but
We have our police out there, and I will bring it to their attention again. We have our police patrol. We don't have enough police to be
Thank you.
everywhere at one time, but our director is on and hears it. So, thank you for that. It's a good point.
Okay, thank you.
And if we could, and someone else brought it up about Watkins too. So if we could, because we still have another presentation that has to be completed by 10:30 as well. So if we could, is there a motion at this point?
Okay.
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Second.
We have a motion by
Second.
Commissioner Washington, seconded by Madam Vice Chair. Madam Vice Chair?
But I,
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Giraldo? Commissioner Giraldo?
Vote aye.
Okay, wonderful. The ayes have it, 5-0. Thank you very much.
Vote aye.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tyler and Mr. Waller. Well, superbly done. Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so the next item on our agenda is item 3D. We have a Festival of Lights update and presentation.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, good morning, Ms. Fechet.
Great. How are you guys?
We're-
So I get the exciting pleasure to join you today to talk about the Festival of Lights. I hope most of you have participated. This is our 34th year. And if we could advance to the next slide, it's a very COVID-friendly way to enjoy the season. We require masks if anybody is outside the car, but as you know, this event you're going to be driving through. Reservations will be made online. Anybody who is walking through the park prior to the park closing for the event, of course, we are going to ask you to wear masks. But again, you'll see this through the safety of your car. Next slide. We start setting up back in September. We have a 12 park member team who sets up, and they work over 440 hours to get all these displays up with over 2.5 million LED lights. We use 500 extension cords to power all the displays that you'll see. Next slide. And there are over 185 displays. The theme in the park, as you know, we have the Imagination Playground, which is Wizard of Oz, and we have 16 Wizards of Oz displays to coincide with that theme.
Excuse me, Ms.
We also
Fechet.
are
Ms.
bringing-
Fechet, is that the award-winning and internationally recognized Wizard of Oz?
That is, Madam
Okay,
Chair.
thank you.
It is. We have, as you can see from this picture there, we have 16 displays. And what's really unique about this, these displays cost about $10,000 to $40,000 depending on the size. but we have an in-house welder that makes most of our displays now. So we're really fortunate to have that on our team. We're saving a lot of money, and we can do creative displays like the displays that you're seeing that can tie into our themes at the playground. We've incorporated the conservation theme and Watkins Nature Center and Old Maryland Farm, so you're going to see more birds and peacocks. We have a dragon blowing smoke this year. We have a heart as you drive in that actually beeps, so that's unique. We have a beehive with bees flying about. Next slide, please. And of course, our focal point is our huge 54-foot grand tree on the green. And that is assembled by a 30-foot crane that we bring in. There's over 200,000 LED lights on that tree. And new this year, we have RGB lights, and they time with the music. So as we play music, before the tree could play music, but now it can time, and we can write different messages on the tree. And as you go down before Candy Cane Lane, you can see there's a big wind tunnel, and that times to the music as well. So it's really neat how it syncs up this year. Opening night was November 27th, which is always the day after Thanksgiving. And that weekend report, we took in over $16,000 in 3 days, and we had over 16,000 admissions. So we really expect this year, with the lack of things that people can do safely, we expect our numbers are going to go up. This is going to be a big draw. It always has been a big draw, but we're getting a lot more traffic this year. You can download a digital program so the kids can do I Spy games, there's fun facts, there's trivia, there's a coloring page for the kids. Of course, we always do 2 free days. We had one in November, which was November 30th, and of course, Christmas Day is free to all visitors. And we continue to collect our canned donations, which will go through the sheriff's office, and they create gift baskets of food for local families in need. Our Panda department has marketed this all over with on our social media platform, 8 radio channels, and we have an electronic billboard that is on 301 South near Route 97 that's up this week. We're campaigning on cable TV. We've made a new commercial that's being released, and we actually had News 4 out there, actually Fox 5 last night, but last week NBC 4, Telemundo was out there interviewing staff. And before I finish and I open it up for questions, I know you all know the queen of the Festival of Lights, Kathy Garrity, and when she knew I was doing this report, I knew she would tell me, why are you telling them all this? They know all this stuff. Really what they want is fun. And it's been several years since she's been here, and you got a Kathy Garrity's home, and I am no Kathy Garrity, but I will try to give it a whirl this year. So in the spirit of Kathy, and we can just scroll through the slides as I go, 'twas the night before the Festival of Lights, when all through the park, people wore masks and were feeling quite dark. These feelings began way back in the spring when a global pandemic changed everything. It's true this year has had sadness aplenty, and we will never forget the year 2020. As COVID wreaks havoc even deadlier than the flu, Prince Georgians are tough, and they're feeling quite blue. But park staff were working like elves through the night, and the rec staff were planning to give people some light. When out on the green arose a magnificent tree, 54 foot in stature, that sings carols with glee. Not a virtual production, that would surely annoy. Our public was invited to experience in-person joy. Could it be a way for a safe outing this time, seeing merry kids in wonder and not seeing them online? Panda took the lead to spread this message through the land on social media, billboards, and radio bands. November 27th, the Festival of Lights was finally here. Could this opening weekend spread holiday cheer? And out of the quarantine, 1,635 cars appeared to see the twinkling lights, new displays that were finally here. The park was lit up, the LED lights were bright. Spectators' eyes were amazed to see all the new sights. And the beehive with bees were flying about and the birds flying home in their birdhouse. Is that a shark behind Santa and his tiny reindeer and a dragon blowing fire? But please do not fear. But off in the distance, the one they all stopped to see was the display with the heart. It would beat softly. As they stood in that moment watching it beat in the dark, they couldn't help but think of the memories it sparked. This year had been lonely and kept them far apart from the families and loved ones that filled their own hearts. But today those lights and the hearts reminded them all there were people who needed them, and we couldn't let them fall. In a sleigh full of food that all was donated by the patrons had brought, they fed families of Prince George's and anyone who sought. And in that act of giving, the people were uplifted with hope as the holidays came and quickly approached. And although they stayed safe and could not see their loved ones and their travels were canceled, they still had some fun. That heart in the park quickly came to mind as they remembered what was important, to always be kind. So as the world sat in wonder how fast the virus would spread, our department cheered on a community and helped get them ahead. In a world that was frightened and did not know how to cope, those twinkling lights and display gave us some much needed hope. Happy 2021 to all, and to all a good night.
So let me say this,
Any questions?
Ms. Pache, I just want to tell you that, you know what? I know Miss Garrity is so proud of you because you nailed it. That is so beautiful. And I do want to tell everyone, I mean, it's always amazing. This is our 34th year. I have not participated for 34 years, but I've participated for 32 years. It's phenomenal. And you always come in with a sense of wonder, even if you go through several times throughout the year. It is uplifting. It is beautiful. And you know, I remember we had the tree, then we started adding music to the tree, and now the tree has rhythm with this music. And I know we're collecting canned goods, and we did the Trot for Turkey. We are an agency and the Department of Parks and Recreation, but we are an agency that gives back to the community. I mean, we stand up. We are servant leaders. We give. And I think that's so beautiful that the number of turkeys that we collected in partnership with the United Communities Against Poverty, and we met their quota and actually surpassed it, what they needed this time. And also the number of canned goods that we collect, but also the number of socks we collected, because socks are the number one requested items for the homeless shelters. And I wanted to know, I know we're still collecting canned goods, but are we still collecting socks? Or are we done with the socks?
We're done with the socks right now. We'll take the socks if
Okay.
we bring them, but
Okay.
right now we're focusing on the kids. Yeah.
Okay, but just a superb job. I'm telling you, if in these very, very trying times, if you need to be uplifted, first of all, coming there helps other people because you provide canned goods, but it also will lift your spirits. So I want to turn to our wonderful planning board team to see if they have any questions or comments. And I'll start with Vice Chair Bailey.
Well, wonderful. Well done. I have no questions or comments. My grandchildren thoroughly enjoyed it, but they are still looking for their cocoa and their face painting.
Okay. And Commissioner Washington, we got to see you with your grandson.
Yeah, I was just going to say, no questions. Thank you, Ms. Pache. This was a phenomenal presentation. And yes, my husband, grandson, and I were there last week. It is just absolutely phenomenal experience. And everything that you talked about as you were presenting, I was reliving the experience. And it seemed like it grew this year. Is that right? Like when you come to turn, and I was saying bye to Betty, and and my grandson really loves the cool lights you guys gave out. And we thought we were exiting, and then there was more, and there was more, and there was more. So I encourage everybody to go out and see it. It's just phenomenal. Great job.
It truly is. Okay, Commissioner Dorner.
Yeah, I love the Festival of Lights. My son is particularly just enthralled with everything, and he liked the 3D stuff that we had last year. Where I think it was the first time we did the 3D lights. And he loves everything. He's very much into Christmas season, and on Thanksgiving Day, he made us start to put up everything for Christmas and put on Christmas Day. So he very much enjoys the winter holiday season. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm probably going to make it to the festival this year because I'm up in Baltimore at the Kennedy Krieger Institute with my daughter, probably for the whole month. But I'm definitely going to send him and my wife so that they can go and enjoy it and take part in everything. So thank you for continuing to do this. It looks fantastic this year.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner Dorner. We know Enrique is going to love it, and thankfully he has that wonderful spirit and insisted that you all start taking care of business come Thanksgiving. So good for him. Commissioner Giraldo.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I love the poetry. That's one of my favorite Christmas poems. Of course, you've added a lot to it. But
she co-opted it.
Yet. She co-opted it, but it was beautiful.
Yes.
And so I'm taking my granddaughter, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, and I look forward to seeing the smile on her face because it's absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much.
Oh, and she's going to love it. And Commissioner Giraldo, there's going to be a big smile on your face too. So, you know what? It's just something for everyone.
During the whole thing.
The little ones, the toddlers, the babies, and us big kids too. It's just phenomenal. And we wanted to thank you so much. Director Tyler, any comment you have before we close out?
Yes, ma'am, and thank you, but I cannot leave without saying awesome job, Ms. Fachet, on your presentation today, but huge kudos to the greatest team of putting this together. This is a massive operation. I drove through, Madam Chair, you and I were out there just in awe of everything that we saw.
In the cold.
And you cannot imagine the difficulty and the complexity of putting all this together and having it synchronized and just so beautiful. So just huge kudos to our staff that puts this together. It's just absolutely amazing. I was blown away, and I'm going to go back several times to see it. So thank you again for your support, but this is absolutely a beautiful, beautiful display of talent.
It is, and thank you. You're so right, and we definitely want to thank the team that puts it together. They work for months and months, and luckily for me, I have to pass by that park every day coming to and from the office, and I assure you I detour in there to be uplifted. So it's a wonderful thing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ms. Fachet. Thank you to the team.
Thank you.
You all rock. It was awesome. So thank you so much. Okay. I have everyone in our listening and viewing audience. I'm telling you, you got to avail yourself of this. Many of you have been cooped up in the house, and this is the most COVID-friendly, uplifting event that you can do. You just drive on through. You donate cans. You know, it's a mere $10 fee, and then you donate cans, goods. You are helping so many others, and you are uplifting yourself in the process. Thank you so very much. Okay, so we are now going to go to our other items. So we are finished with our administrative items for the day. Thank you so much. And our Parks and Recreation items. Thank you so much. Okay. So now we have been joined by so many people as we are about to take on our development review items. So good morning again. Once again, I'm Elizabeth Hewlett, Chair of the Prince George's County Planning Board, and the Planning Board is in session for its development review items this Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. In an abundance of caution resulting from the global spread of our COVID-19 virus, this is the Planning Board's 30th virtual meeting since March. During these continued challenging times, we, the Planning Board, remain committed to promoting a safe and healthy environment for our public, our applicants, our stakeholders, and our staff as we continue business operations to propel Prince George's County forward. I'd like to take a moment to remind everyone of the participation guidelines of our hearings. Speaker pre-registration and pre-submission of comments and exhibits is required. All participants must pre-register, and all materials or exhibits, if any, must be submitted by 12 noon on the Tuesday before the Planning Board meetings. We have announced this over and over and over and over again since March, and it is, as shown on the screen, announced in our weekly hearings, posted on our website, and clearly stated in bold red on our published weekly agenda. This is necessary so that all of our information can be disseminated, so we can organize and figure out how to call the cases, figure out who's on our list for so many different reasons. And we have one of the shortest notice periods in the area. For instance, the ZHE requires everything, registration and exhibits 5 days in advance. But in order to give the benefit to our citizens and stakeholders, we have 2 days in advance, and then we have to scramble over here. Registered speakers and presenters connecting through a computer, tablet, or smartphone can join the meeting with the link provided via email from the Planning Board office. All of this is as depicted on the screen. Online registered participants may be prompted to install GoToMeeting software in order to participate in the process. Registered speakers may also listen or participate in the meeting using a phone line and utilizing the call-in number provided via the email. We ask all participants to mute your phones when not speaking.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Please do not mute. We ask all participants to mute your phones when not speaking. Please do not put your phone on hold. To eliminate audio feedback, only one connected device with sound should be in a room at the same time. Now, of course, the public may continue to watch Planning Board meetings streamed live, or if you wish to become a person of record, you may sign up on the online web form. And please see the screen for instructions on how to become a person of record, how to sign up to speak, and how to watch the live stream. As always, we commence our meetings with a moment of silence. We'd like to take a moment of silence in honor of those individuals and loved ones who, throughout our community and nation, who passed away since our last meeting of November the 19th. We're going to start within our commission family. Norris Jones, who was a senior, who was an equipment operator with the Department of Parks and Recreation for 15 years since 2005. And also Faye Nelson, who works for the Department of Parks and Recreation and who was tremendously helpful with the Census 2020 outreach and was honored as a Maryland Census champion, lost her mom. And we want to keep Faye in our prayers and in our thoughts, along with Norris Jones Sr.'s family. We also, within the planning community, we want to remember Catherine Kaysen. Catherine Kaysen is the mother of Barry Kaysen. Barry Kaysen is a civil engineer who regularly appears before the planning board with his development teams. So we want to remember Ms. Kaysen in our thoughts. We also want to take a special moment to remember the Queen Mother of the Bafokeng Nation of South Africa. Now, Prince George's County established a Bafokeng Nation as a sister city during the Wayne K. Curry administration. They worked in conjunction with the Committee of Community and Ethnic Affairs Committee, which was then, the board was then chaired by Arthur Horn Jr., also an attorney who comes before us regularly. But all of this was done at the behest of an amazing woman, the then council member and council chair, Dorothy Bailey, who facilitated and who requested, who approached the county executive to establish this sister city relationship with the Bafokeng Nation in South Africa. So the Queen Mother died this week in Johannesburg, South Africa, and I have chosen to wear my beautiful South African necklace jewelry, which was presented to me as a gift from South Africa, and I am so honored to wear it. And I want to take a moment to single out our then County Council Chair, who is now the Vice Chair of the Prince George's County Planning Board, to see if she has a comment regarding the Queen Mother.
Thank you so very much. The Queen Mother was just an amazing lady. She loved coming to Prince George's County. She had an opportunity to visit our schools and actually their stadium where the Olympics soccer team played was patterned after one of our facilities here, the stadium. And so she always enjoyed coming. It's an amazing place. It's a place that people are very surprised when they go to visit, They have one of the largest platinum reserves in the world, and they do an amazing job of taking care of all of the citizens and providing quality services. The Queen Mother was a special friend that I've known since 1980, and when I would go to South Africa, people always, Mr. Curry used to say that I loved going to South Africa because people thought we were sisters, and quite often people would walk up to me and call me the Queen Mother. And he said that was the only reason I liked, because I liked being called the Queen Mother. And when we would come here, people would always think that we were sisters, but I will miss her tremendously, a very special friend. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Oh, excuse me, Ms. Queen Mother. Okay, thank you so very much for that. So many of you, for years since the establishment of the Sister City relationship, we received a gift from the Bafokeng Nation, and it's on the first floor of the County Administration Building. People come in and out this building every day, or at least pre-COVID, and there's this fabulous piece of art there. So I invite you to take a look again once we reopen to the public. We also want to remember the growing victims of the widespread coronavirus. So we have actually, we're closing in on 278,000 deaths in the United States. This is a travesty. This is an absolute travesty, and it's very, very scary. I also wanted to acknowledge we had a record number of deaths in the United States yesterday, higher than ever before, and this is really tragic as well. I just want everyone to make sure that we're careful, and these are loved ones. They're not just statistics. They're somebody's mother, brother, sister, aunt, child. It's grandmother. I mean, it's really, really tragic. So we ask everyone to continue to stay safe, and we want to remember everyone in our thoughts and prayers. We also, another person who succumbed to COVID was David Moss, who was one half of the husband and wife Quick Change Magic Act, who died of COVID as well. Throughout the nation and world unrelated to COVID, we want to remember David Dinkins, who at age 93 passed away. He was New York City's first black mayor. He was my mayor from my hometown, and who was elected in 1989 and known for his efforts in revitalizing Harlem and Times Square, reducing the crime rate, and so much more. Ironically, his wife passed away in October, and as happens sometimes with marriages that long, he died the next month. Walter Robinson Sr., oh my goodness, Tuskegee Airman and longtime District of Columbia resident who passed away on his 100th birthday. He was part of the famed Tuskegee Airmen group, historic, who made such a difference in World War II, and he was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal by President Bush in 2007. George W. Bush in 2007. Frank Macon, age 97, also a member of the Tuskegee Airmen. They are reaching an age where they are passing now. Bruce Boynton, age 83, civil rights activist whose actions paved the way for the Freedom Rides of 1961. David Prowse, age 85, Darth Vader in the original Star Wars trilogy. Tony Hsieh, investor and longtime Zappos CEO. I can't tell you how many shoes I've ordered from Zappos. Len Barry, the DeVelle's lead singer. Some of you may remember he was the lead singer in the Bristol Stomp. Many of you will be way too young, but some of you may remember. Jake Scott, the NFL safety for the Miami Dolphins and the Washington football team, the MVP of the Super Bowl VII. Herbert Solow, film and TV executive behind Star Trek and Mission Impossible. Pat Quinn, only age 37, co-founder of the ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease Ice Bucket Challenge. David Hemblin, TV voice of X-Men and the animated series. Hal Ketchum, country music singer. Dina Dietrich. Many of you may remember the commercial. She was an actress who appeared as Mother Nature in the classic margarine commercials, saying, "It's not nice to fool Mother Nature." Rowdy Harrell, age 30, former football player and NASCAR pit crew member who was killed with his wife in a car crash while on their honeymoon. Abby Dalton, age 88, actress on Falcon Crest. And there are so many more. And of course, we extend our deepest sympathy to any of you who may have suffered a loss in your family. Our hearts are extended to you as well. If we may have that moment of silence now, please. Thank you. Again, it's the month of December. Happy December, everyone. It is Global AIDS Awareness Month. It is National Drunk and Drug Driving Prevention Month and Universal Human Rights Month. On this day, December 3rd, 1828, Andrew Jackson was elected the 7th United States President. 1847, December 3rd, author, activist, and abolitionist Frederick Douglass published the first issue of his newspaper, North Star. 1926, mystery writer Agatha Christie mysteriously disappeared herself for a much-publicized 11 days. 1971, President Nixon commuted Teamsters Jimmy Hoffa's jail term. In 1989, Soviet President Gorbachev and United States President George H.W. Bush declared an end to the Cold War. 2019, on this day, Kamala Harris ended her campaign for U.S. President. With that, after those announcements, I want to go to the Planning Board Adelphi Road slide, please. So please join the Planning Department for a virtual community meeting and project kickoff for the new sector plan for the Adelphi Road Purple Line Station. So it's the, you can see everything there. It's December 9th. Next Wednesday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. And the project team will provide an overview and discuss plans for future development in the planned area and surrounding neighborhoods. So you can see the screen for registration. Next is the Cultural Arts Study. The Planning Department, the Department of Parks and Recreation, and the Prince George's County Arts and Humanities Council are conducting a study to learn more about how you connect with the arts and cultural expressions in the county. So please take 10 minutes to complete the online cultural participation survey, and please visit the study's website to learn more about the project. You just saw a presentation about our fabulous 34th Winters Festival of Lights. So please take a visit, and it will be it's now through January 1st, 2021, from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. It's a dazzling display created from 2.5 million lights, and you can purchase tickets in advance from pgparksdirect.com. Finally, I want to take a moment to congratulate former Council Chair Todd Turner. He's the outgoing chair who served 2 consecutive terms as chair of the council. He did a fabulous job, particularly navigating us through this pandemic. So we want to congratulate Todd Turner from District 4. We also want to extend congratulations to the new chair, Calvin Hawkins, who literally worked his way up just about in every facet of county government, holding various positions for nearly 3 decades. He worked with 4 county executives and is currently one of 2 at-large council members representing the interests of the entire county. He is your true servant leader, and we want to extend hearty congratulations to Calvin Hawkins, and also to the new vice chair, Denny Tavares, who has also worked extraordinarily hard, who originally hails from New York City, and she worked exceptionally hard during the Census 2020 effort. I mean, she was like the Energizer Bunny for that, just as Calvin is just an Energizer Bunny and ubiquitous all over the county. We also want to take a moment to say congratulations to and thank you to Major Riddick. Major Riddick is the outgoing Chief Administrative Officer for the Prince George's County. He brought tremendous experience and institutional knowledge to that office and to Prince George's County. He cares. He was the director of Prince George's County Office of Management and Budget, director of Housing and Community Development, executive director of the Housing Authority. He was the first African American chief administrative officer for Prince George's County ever, under then County Executive Paris Glendening. Later, he became the first African American to serve as the governor's chief of staff in the state of Maryland. He's spent 2 years as the national president of the National Forum for Black Public Administrators, and so much more. And on top of that, he's an entrepreneur. so he can return to his private sector business. And he brought to us a wealth of experience. So we want to give a hearty congratulations to Major Riddick. Now, there will be more to come. There's another announcement I'm going to make sequentially, but I'm going to hold that until next week because obviously there will be a replacement county executive. As always, we thank and appreciate each one of you for your flexibility, your cooperation and support as we continue to keep our planning functions moving forward in a safe fashion during our new normal. We remain thankful for our blessings, and we ask that you make every effort to be kind, to stay safe, to look out for one another, to stay strong, to stay resilient, to stay woke, and remain ever hopeful as we strive to get through these challenging times together. Thank you. So the first item is the consent agenda. Is there anyone here to oppose staff's recommendation on items 4A and B or 4D and E? And if not, are there any questions from board members or is there a motion?
Madam Chair, after consideration of the records for items number 4A, 4B, 4D, and 4E, I move adoption of staff findings and approval of the items on the consent agenda in accordance with the recommendation of staff.
Second.
We have a motion from Madam Vice Chair, seconded by Commissioner Washington. Madam Vice Chair?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Vote aye.
And Commissioner Giraldo?
Vote aye.
Thank you. And I was remiss, I announced that we had all 5 planning board members earlier, but I was remiss in not mentioning that we have, physically here, look, we have our planning director, Andre Checkley, with us. We have our planning board administrator, Jessica Jones. We have our technical hearing writer, Marie Proctor. We have our visual media specialist and new title troubleshooter, Ryan Cron. And we have our senior planning technician, our technical planner, Kenny Flanagan, who is working these PowerPoints, who's doing a fabulous job over there too. We have our Chief of Development Review on the line. I'm looking at him, James Hunt. And we have our legal counsel, our principal legal counsel with us, David Warner, as well. And you will hear from the rest of our staff momentarily. So the next item on our case is on our agenda is item 6. It is preliminary plan 4-17014, Lusby's Lane. I do know we have a request for a continuance to February 4th, 2021. Mr. Heath, are you on?
Yes, present.
We have Mr. Tedesco, are you on?
Morning, Madam Chair, I'm on.
Wonderful. Mr. Lenhart? I don't know if we're needed for the continuance request, but you're there, Mr. Lenhart, I see. Okay. And then we have the applicant's exhibit number 1, which is the request for the continuance, and which includes the 70-day waiver. Mr. Heath?
Yes. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. For the record, I'm Antoine Heath with the Subdivision and Zoning section. Item number 6 on the agenda is a preliminary plan of subdivision 4-17014 Lusby's Lane, consisting of 29 lots and 5 parcels for single-family detached dwellings. By letter dated November 30th, 2020, the applicant's representative, Matt Tedesco, granted a waiver of the 70-day review period and requested a continuance to the planning board hearing date of February 4th, 2021. If the application is continued to February 4th, 2021, no additional posting will be required. Staff recommends approval of the continuance.
Thank you, Mr. Heath. Mr. Tedesco?
No comments, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Heath and Ms. Connor, as well as Mr. Warner for their assistance in this matter. We would submit on the letter and respectfully request the board's approval of the continuance to February 4th, 2021.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Washington and seconded by Vice Chair Bailey. Vice Chair Bailey?
Aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
Vote aye.
Okay, the ayes have it 5-0. Thank you very much, everyone. And I was remiss in not mentioning that we will be breaking at 1 p.m. for an executive session. We will combine that. That will be our lunch break as well. But so wherever we are on the agenda come 1 p.m., that is when we will be breaking. The next item is item 8, which is preliminary plan of subdivision 4-2002 Dobson Ridge. We also have a request for continuance to January 7th, 2021. Again, it's Mr. Heath and Mr. Tedesco. I know you're both here. Charlie Howe, are you on? Yes.
He's with the applicant
Yeah.
team, I don't believe.
Yes, he is on.
He is on.
Yes.
Yep.
And Mr. Lenhart, you're on too. And then we have Lance Locke. Mr. Locke, are you on? Can you unmute everyone, just to see? It says they're muted. Okay, so Mr. Locke, are you on? Lunk, I guess it is. L-O-N-C-K-E. Okay. All right, Mr. Heath?
All right.
What? Okay, Mr. Heath?
Yes, thank you. Oh, good morning again. Item number 8 on the agenda is a preliminary plan of subdivision 4-20002 Dobson Ridge, consisting of 196 lots and 16 parcels for single-family detached dwellings. By letter dated November 13th, 2020, the applicant's representative, Matt Tedesco, requested a continuance to the planning board date hearing of January 7th, 2021. If the application is continued to January 7th, 2021, no additional posting will be required. Staff recommends approval of the continuance.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Heath. Mr. Tedesco?
Good morning, Madam Chair. For the record, Matthew Tedesco. Thank you, Mr. Heath, again, Ms. Connor, for their consideration of this continuance request. And we would submit on our letter and would respectfully request the board's approval to continue this matter to January 7th, 2021.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Howe and Mr. Lenhart are with you, the applicant. Again, I'm going to call for Lance Lonk. We don't see his name on here. He signed up in opposition. So maybe he's not calling number 4. Okay. Okay. So with that, if there are no, we do have some other, Dion James Zanfordino.
Here.
And Anthony Zanfordino.
He just took another call, but I can speak for
Okay,
both of us.
so we have a request for a continuance to January 7th. Are you okay with that, Ms. Dion James Zanfordino?
Yes, I am.
Thank you so much. Okay, with that, and we have some information that was submitted into the record from Paul Hamilton, and that is accepted into the record and will be, depending on the motion, will carry forward to the January 7th date. Is there a motion?
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Second?
We have a motion from Commissioner Washington, seconded by Madam Vice Chair. Madam Vice Chair?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
Vote aye.
The ayes have it 5-0. Thank you. So the next item is a comprehensive design plan, and we have a statement to read whenever we have a comprehensive design plan. It is item 12. It is comprehensive design plan 9503-82 Beal Hill Forest, Lot 4, Block D. Mr. Bossi, are you present?
Yes, Madam Chair, present.
Okay. Ms. Anyanwu, are you present? I saw your name.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Wonderful. Ms. I got it wrong. Anyanwu, we had to continue this item, so we wanted to get you on fairly early. Please listen to my CDP statement, but it's a relatively very easy matter. So this hearing is being held under the general enabling authority of the Land Use Article Annotated Code of Maryland and conducted in accordance with the specific requirements and procedures of Section 27-516, through 532 of the Prince George's County Code, along with the Maryland Administrative Procedures Act. The purpose of this hearing is to consider the applicant's submission of a comprehensive design plan proposal and to consider the plan in relation to the criteria set forth in 27-521 of the Prince George's County Code. I will say all persons appearing before the board to present testimony in this matter must be sworn in. So, Ms. Anyanwu, if you can raise your hand. In the presence of Almighty God, do you solemnly promise and declare that the testimony you are about to give before this board is the truth to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. The proceeding is being recorded, as they all are, and all exhibits must be properly marked when they are introduced and identified when referred to or discussed. Mr. Bossi.
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. First, I just wanted to quickly apologize. I was having some issues with my video streaming, so I'm just here in audio only.
Okay.
For the record, I'm Adam Bossi with the Urban Design Section, and as you mentioned, this is item 12, CDP 9503-H2, Beal Hill Forest, Lot 4, Block D. This is a homeowner minor amendment request to the comprehensive design plan, requesting modification of the rear yard setback to allow for the construction of a deck
Mr.
to
Bossi?
the existing.
Mr.
Yes,
Bossi,
ma'am.
I'm going to interrupt you briefly because this is the addition of a 16-foot by 20-foot deck at the rear of a house, of a single-family detached dwelling. It is simple. Is there anything you feel compelled to add in addition to everything that we have in our staff report?
No, ma'am. The deck will not be visible from any other properties. The property behind this particular lot is in forest conservation. And Ms. Anyanwu and her family, should be, we support the request. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much. Are there any questions of Mr. Bossi at this time? Okay. Okay, so Ms. Anyanwu?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure this is your request. I'm sure you're fully in agreement with the staff recommendation.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Anything you care to add?
I just want to thank you all in advance for your approval and everything that, Mr. Bossi has said. We've submitted all of the documents that we needed to submit. We've been approved by our HOA. All of our neighbors have been informed and have given their approval as well. And so we are just thankful that we get this opportunity to speak before you all so that we can support the request.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to ask if any of the board members have questions. Let me see by a raise of hand. And if not, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we adopt the findings of staff and approve CDP-9503-H2. And thank you, Ms. Corinne, for your patience.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have a motion by Commissioner Washington, seconded by Vice Chair Bailey. Yeah, I got Queen Mother in my mind now. Vice Chair. Okay. Vice Chair Bailey.
Aye.
Commissioner Washington.
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner.
Vote aye.
Commissioner Giraldo.
I vote aye.
The ayes have it 5-0. Congratulations, Ms. Anyanwu. And Mr. Bossi, short flight, thank you very much. Okay. And now we have the associate, the accompanying resolution, which is item 13. Is there a motion?
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Washington, seconded by Madam Vice Chair. Madam Vice Chair?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
I vote aye, Madam Chair.
Thank you so very much. The next item is item 10. So the ayes had it 5-0, and the next item is item 10, which is a waiver of the filing fee for Concept Plan 2004, which is a CIP project 408 Vista Way Storm Drain. It is a project of it's a conservation plan, rather, submitted by the County Department of the Environment which is appropriate for this filing fee. It is another government entity trying to do something for the benefit of the public. So let me make sure we have everybody. DeAndre Spradley?
Yes, Madam Chair, I am here.
Wonderful. Okay, now, okay, so Zadoina Pastanisa?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so Mr. Spradley, you're on. Well, Mr. Spradley, let me just start here. We have this wonderful letter here detailing why the need for the waiver. We have your recommendation. Is there anything you care to add to this at this point?
No, Madam Chair, I do not.
Okay. Ms. Pastanisa? No, Pastanisa.
Pastanica.
Okay, Pastanica, thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I was just asking if you had any comments and if you're in agreement with the recommendation to agreeing to waive the fee.
Yes, I'm representing the agency who is implementing this project. So yes, we are in favor of it.
Okay. Again, it's a conservation plan. It's absolutely necessary. So I have no problems with that. Okay, it's a capital improvement project to alleviate the severe flooding conditions and at the residential structure in Vista Way. So there's severe flooding there, and it's caused by runoff from the Commission Park. So we do need to address this. So thank you so very much. Is there a motion? There was no one else on the sign-up sheet.
I move that we accept the recommendation of staff and waive the filing fee for CP-20004.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Washington, seconded by Vice Chair Bailey. Vice Chair Bailey?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
I vote aye.
Okay. The ayes have it 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Spradley. It was so clear cut and so necessary to address a public need. So we thank you for your report and your written report. And I'm sorry there was no need for a verbal presentation, so I hope you didn't spend too much time on it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair and the Planning Board.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the next item we have, so the past 5-0. The next item is item 5, which is detailed site plan 20024 Parliament Place, Phase 1. Mr. Burke.
Present, Madam Chair.
Okay, Mr. Lynch.
Good morning. Present, Madam Chair.
Mr. Bickle.
Present.
Okay. Mr. Piscitelli?
Present.
Was I close?
Yeah, you're spot on.
Okay, every now and then I get it right. Okay. Thank you so much. And I can't resist when I hear Parliament Place, I think of George. But anyway, okay. Mr. Burke, you are on.
I will refrain from singing any of the Parliament Funkadelic songs. Save everybody the agony.
Okay, Mr. Burke.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the Planning Board. I'm Thomas Burke with the Urban Design Section. The project before you, listed as item 5 on the agenda, refers to detailed site plan DSP 20024 for Parliament Place, which includes the Type 2 Tree Conservation Plan TCP 2-033-2020, as well as alternative compliance to the Landscape Manual AC-20011. Before I begin, however, I would like to bring to your attention corrections to the recommended conditions introduced into the record by the applicant. Staff has reviewed these corrections and have some additional language to propose following this presentation. Slide 2, please. The site is located in the northern part of Prince George's County in Planning Area 70 and Council District 5. Slide 3, please. More specifically, the site is located on the southeast side of Martin Luther King Jr. Highway, east of its intersection with the exit ramp from US 50 in Lanham. Slide 4, please. The subject property is zoned I-1. Consolidated storage facilities are a permitted use in the I-1 zone, subject to specific requirements in the zoning ordinance. The site is surrounded by roadways and other I-1 and I-2 zoned and developed properties. Slide 5, please. This aerial photo illustrates the current conditions of the property with some existing surface parking, but otherwise unimproved. This also shows the surrounding industrial and commercial uses. Slide 6, please. The site is relatively flat with a slight grade sloping towards Martin Luther King Jr. Highway. Slide 7, please. Which is shown here as a master plan arterial road in red and US 50 as a master plan freeway in orange. There will be no direct access to this site from either of these roadways. Access will be gained via Parliament Place, a private road. Slide 8, please. Which is highlighted here in blue, with the access easement to the site through the adjacent parcel 2 highlighted in orange. The existing surface parking on site will be removed for the construction of the consolidated storage facility. Slide 9, please. This shows the subject site shaded in dark gray as it relates to the other 2 parcels comprising the 3-parcel subdivision which was recently approved by the Planning Board. Parcel 2 in the center is currently developed with a multi-story office building. The subject parcel and parcel 3 are currently undeveloped. Slide 10, please. The proposed 151-foot by 301-foot, 3-story, 1,042 unit consolidated storage building will be a maximum of 36 feet in height. Parking and loading spaces are shown to the northeast of the building, and a 1,000 square foot office is located in the eastern corner. Slide 11, please. The landscape plan demonstrates conformance with all applicable landscape standards, with the exception of section 4.7 incompatible uses along the southeast boundary with parcel 2. This boundary is shown at the bottom of this site, abutting the existing parking lot. Alternative compliance AC-20011 was reviewed, and the planning director recommends approval of this AC request with one recommended condition. The findings for this alternative compliance can be found on page 10 of the staff report. Slide 12, please. This color-coded slide shows how this site will provide safe access to the existing sidewalks in the Parliament Place right-of-way. The connection from this site to the adjacent parcel 2 is shown in green. And a conceptual layout for off-site circulation to be proposed with the redevelopment of parcels 2 and 3 are shown in red and blue, respectively. Next slide, please. This consolidated storage building presents a balanced composition of masonry block, exterior insulated finish system, horizontal blue metal panels, and storefront glazing. This roughly rectangular building is proportionally divided into smaller forms to minimize visual impact by providing projections, mixed materials, and color patterns. This slide shows the view of the building oriented toward the US 50 exit ramp and as will be seen from northbound traffic on Martin Luther King Jr. Highway. The applicant is proposing 2 building-mounted signs with this application, one shown here in the center of the building. Next slide, please. And the second sign here on this facade facing Martin Luther King Jr. Highway. Signage details were provided with this application showing full conformance to the zoning ordinance. Next slide, please. This is the north view as seen from the entrance to the site. Note that the office shown here on the left side of the building is distinguished by 2 stories of storefront fenestration, framed with the blue metal panels and white trim. On the second level will be decorative display showing blue storage doors. It is important to note that these storage doors, as well as the storage doors shown on the other exterior elevations, are purely decorative, will not function as individual storage units, and will not be accessible by customers. This is a typical feature with many of the consolidated storage facilities developed throughout the county. Next slide, please. This is the elevation facing the office building to the southeast, for which the applicant is requesting alternative compliance for incompatible uses. The side of the main office is articulated here on the right side of the building. More decorative display doors can be seen on the left. Slide 7, next slide, please. Excuse me. This property is subject to the provisions of the Woodland and Wildlife Habitat Conservation Ordinance. A Type 2 Tree Conservation Plan TCP 2-033-2020 was submitted with this application showing conformance with the requirements through offsite preservation. Additionally, the applicant is requesting a variance for the removal of 4 specimen trees. Staff's evaluation of this request can be found starting on page 12 of the staff report, which recommends approval for the removal of the 4 specimen trees. The urban design staff recommends that the planning board adopt the findings of this report and approve detailed site plan DSP 20024, TCP 2-033-2020, alternative compliance AC-20011, and a variance for the removal of the 4 specimen trees for Parliament Place, subject to the conditions contained in the staff report dated November 17, 2020, and as amended by the applicant and to be further amended by staff. With that, Madam Chair, this concludes staff's presentation. I thank you for your time and consideration.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Burke. Now, I understand you also have item 9, so you'll be back.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay. So, let's see if there are any questions of Mr. Burke at this time. Okay, Madam Vice Chair?
No questions, thank you.
Okay, okay, Commissioner Washington?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Dorner?
No questions, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Giraldo?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lynch?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. For the record, Dan Lynch with the law firm of McNamee Hosey with offices in Greenbelt, Maryland. I'm here today on behalf of Parliament Place 4200 Parliament Place LLC.
Excuse me, Mr. Lynch. Mr. Lynch?
Detailed site plan.
Mr. Lynch,
yes.
It's not a huge problem for us, but I'm just making you aware. Normally, we see you, there's a screen issue, but we can hear you okay. There we go. Okay, thank you. Okay, just wanted to make sure you were aware. Okay, please proceed.
Again, I'm here on behalf of 4200 Parliament Place with regard to this detailed site plan for a consolidated storage facility located off of Parliament Place in Lanham, Maryland. Before I begin, I'd like to thank Mr. Burke. It's always a pleasure working with him on these cases. I think this is one of many that I've done since September of this year, and it's we work and resolve any potential issues as we've done in this case. Excuse me. We did prepare applicant's exhibit number 1, which is a modification to conditions 2C and 2D. You have that before you. But in the last 30 minutes, I received communication from staff that they're concerned about the language contained in condition 2C and 2D is modified by us. It would require additional impacts, which we'd like to avoid.
So you're talking about applicant's exhibit number 1, which is your proposed revised conditions? One would be a deletion, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so staff has come up with a revised language which we agree with, and I can read that into the record.
For both or just C?
For C and D.
Okay, all right, got it, okay.
Okay. So, pursuant to our conversations this morning with staff, we both agreed that conditions 2C should read as follows. Complete the standard notes entitled when invasive plant species are to be removed by the permittee with required information.
So keep that.
Complete the standard notes entitled when invasive plant species are to be removed by permittee with the required information.
Wait a minute. What I'm asking you, Mr. Lynch, in your proposed revisions, you have that crossed out, but you're saying keep it now, right?
Now we're saying keep it.
Okay.
Okay. And then D would be revised by adding the following language at the end of the condition. It would add or a note to indicate that none are present. So the entire condition D would read, included an invasive species management plan on the TCP2 or a note to indicate that none are present.
Okay. Okay.
And just so you understand, we removed the invasive species from the site, and we're kind of trying to get our hands around how that would be addressed through a condition.
Okay. Okay. Or a note to indicate that none are present, as confirmed
Which
by
is what we'll end up doing.
as in conjunction with. How about in conjunction with someone? I mean, we don't. Nothing personal, but we need some verification, right?
Subject to staff review and approval?
Yeah, that works.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that's good.
Okay? And that's all we have. Once again, thanks staff for working with us on this, and we request that the board approve this detailed site plan. Thank you very much.
Okay, wonderful, Mr. Lynch. Let's see if there are any questions of you. Madam Vice Chair?
No questions, Madam Chair. Thank you.
So Commissioner Washington?
No questions.
Okay, Commissioner Giraldo?
I have no questions.
Okay, Commissioner Dorner?
Just one question, Mr. Lynch, on the revised condition C where you had inserted revised TCP 2 to show the 0.12 acre area of invasive species. Are we going to include that in one of the conditions, or are we just kind of removing that completely for the other changes that you've mentioned?
We're removing that, and we're just going to add the note that indicate that none are present. And again, we previously removed all the invasive species from the sites, and we just need to have staff verify that pursuant to this condition as we just modified.
So there would be no D?
Okay.
So you're saying there would really be no D? Is that what you're saying?
No, there will be a D.
Okay, all right.
No, we still need that verification.
Okay,
We
got
still
it,
need
okay.
that note there saying that they're not, yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, I'm with you now. Okay, got it. Okay. Okay, so, and then Commissioner Giraldo?
I vote aye.
No. Are there any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. But you can hold that thought. Okay. Mr.
I'm going to hold that thought very carefully.
Okay. Let me, Mr. Lynch, I'm going to turn to Mr. Bickle to see if they, or are those folks here if there are any questions, or do they need to speak?
They're here to answer any questions that the board may have. They're not here to make a separate statement.
Okay, so does the board have any questions of, Okay, Mr. Bickle or Mr. Piscitelli?
I have nothing.
Okay. Okay, so so the board doesn't have any questions. Okay, so with that, we weren't at a vote yet, but we are at a motion.
Madam Chair, I move that we adopt the findings of staff and approve DSP-20024, PCP2-033-2020, and AC-20011, in addition to variance to section 25-122B1G for the removal of 4 specimen trees, along with the associated conditions as outlined in staff's report, with one modification to condition 2D, which shall now read, include an invasive species management plan on the TCP2 or a note to indicate that none are present, subject to staff review and approval.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Washington, seconded by Commissioner, Madam Vice Chair. Look, I'm going to go to Commissioner Giraldo since he was a little anxious. Commissioner Giraldo? You're muted,
I vote
though.
aye.
Okay, there. You vote aye. Okay. Now, Madam Vice Chair.
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Vote aye.
Wonderful. The ayes have it 5-0. We're going
Thank
to
you very much.
Thank you. We're going to take a 10-minute health break. And we're going to invite anyone who needs to do the same. And when we come back, we're going to go in this order: item 7, item 9, item 11, and item 3B. Well, 3B is at 1 o'clock, so wherever we are in the process. So 7, ideally it's 7, 9, 11, and 3B. Okay. Return in 10 minutes. So, the next, hopefully everyone's feeling a little better, responded to Mother Nature here. The next item we have, we're going to go in this order, as I said. We're going with item 7, 9, 11, and 3B. Item 7 is detailed site plan 19033-6192 Oxon Hill Hotel. Mr. Bishop, are you on? I should have said the planning board.
Yes, Madam Chair.
I should have said the planning board is back in session after our break. Okay, so Mr. Bishop, you're on. Ms. Scudder, I saw you, so I know you're on. Can we unmute her? I think you have to unmute from your end, Ms. Scudder. There you are.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. So RC, Nake, is it Nake or Nike? Nike.
Yes, Nike.
Nike. We see you. Just, can you do a voice?
Yes, I'm unable to unmute myself.
No, we hear you. We're good. We're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you very much.
Good morning.
Tracy will be with the application. If there's any questions.
Okay, wait a minute. We didn't get to that part here. I'm just making sure we have everybody at this point. So we're good for the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. And then with that, I'm going to start with Mr. Bishop.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Good morning, Mr.
Members
Bishop.
of the Planning Board. For the record, Andrew Bishop of the Urban Design Section. Item 7 is a DSB proposing the conversion of an existing 5-story office building into a 100-room hotel. Slide 2, please. The site is in Planning Area 76B, Council District 8. Slide 3, please. The property is located on the south side of Oxon Hill Road, east of its intersection with Livingston Road. Slide 4, please. The site is in the CO zone and is bounded to the east and west by professional office space, north by the public right-of-way of Maryland 414, and south by vacant property in the R18C zone. Slide 5, please. This aerial shows the property, the existing office building at the center of the site, and is outlined here in red. Slide 6, please. The site is currently developed, slopes to the south, and includes no environmental impacts. Slide 7, please. This slide shows the master plan rights-of-way in the vicinity of the property. These include the arterial Oxon Hill Road directly north of the site, and master planned arterial A68, which is a 100-foot right-of-way, which is located on the southern portion of the site. Both of these roads are shown in red. In addition, the master plan collector C727 is seen on this slide in green, east of the site. Slide 8, please. This is a bird's eye view of the developed site and shows that the existing 5-story office building and parking deck surrounding the building. Slide 9, please. This slide shows photographs of the existing building on the northern portion of the slide and an illustrative site plan of the upper level of the parking deck on the bottom of the slide. The existing 2-level parking deck is proposed to remain and provides parking for the site.
The upper level of the parking deck is accessed from Oxon Hill Road and by an ingress-egress easement on parcel A to the east. The main entrance to the hotel faces Oxon Hill Road and includes a porte-cochere drop-off area and proposes a sidewalk providing access to the public right-of-way. Angled parking continues on the upper level of the parking deck around the building with a one-way drive aisle. The application is exempt from the landscape manual because it is limited to interior and facade renovations and restriping of the parking lot. However, the project was the subject of alternative compliance AC 90119, which was approved in 1990. The DSP is in general conformance with that approval and proposes adequate buffers, a landscape area on the upper level of the parking deck, in addition to planters in the parking area to provide shade. Slide 10, please. This slide shows the lower level of the parking deck and is accessed in the southeast corner of the site from the ingress-egress easement on parcel A, which for orientation purposes is located on the southern portion of this slide. Elevators and stairwells provide access to the building above. Slide 11, please. The next two slides show the architectural design of the building with its flat roof and angled parapet, which provides an accent along the roofline and is proposed to hide rooftop equipment. Architectural interest is provided in the application of different building volumes, massings, and architectural design elements. Slide 12, please. The exterior of the building is finished with a mix of materials in different shades of gray and cream stucco and accents of fiber cement board that is designed to look like wood and is shown in varying heights on all sides of the building. In conclusion, it should be noted that the applicant is in agreement with the technical staff report and the conditions of approval. Therefore, the urban design section is recommending the planning board adopt the findings of this report and approve detailed site plan DSP 19033 for Oxon Hill Road Hotel, subject to the conditions found in the staff report. This concludes staff's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bishop. Let's see if there's any questions. Madam Vice Chair? Okay, let's go with, Madam Vice Chair, any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Washington?
No questions.
Commissioner Dorner?
No questions.
Commissioner Giraldo?
No questions at this time, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Scudder?
Good morning, Chairman Hewlett, members of the Planning Board, and staff. For the record, my name is Tracy Scudder. It's great to see all of you. I am actually joining you from Knoxville, Tennessee this morning, where I am spending time with family for this holiday season. This morning, I have the pleasure of representing the applicant in this case, 6192 Oxon Hill West, and Mr. R.C. Naik of Laxmi Hotels is also present. But before I proceed with my short presentation, I would like to thank our reviewer, Mr. Andrew Bishop, for his hard work in this case. Mr. Bishop really shepherded this case through and kept us on schedule for our planning board hearing. So thank you, Andrew. I would now like to take a few minutes to address an incident from yesterday that involved a consultant in this case, and I won't go into all the details here, but let's just say someone from our team got out of line, and I wasn't there, but based on the description I received from a few people, I just want to apologize to Mr. Hunt and to Chairman Hewlett and the board for the conduct that I heard about, which was unacceptable. And with that being stated, and I know my client is in full agreement with me as we talked yesterday and this morning, I always look for a silver lining in every negative situation. And here, the obvious silver lining, at least for me, is that I can make a few comments that I've always wanted to make for, before this board, but didn't want to appear to be trying to score points. So since the door has been opened, I'd just like to say the following. First, I'd like to agree with Mr. Tyler, who spoke earlier during the administrative agenda and said that this is the best parks and rec in the land. I agree. For the past 15 years, I have practiced before this planning board, and my experience has been a very positive experience of growth, maturation, and success. I always tell people that I love what I do for a living, and apparently that is a rare statement coming from an attorney. And it's directly because of this board that I practiced before, and the staff that comprises the commission that I work with on a daily basis. I can honestly report to this board that I've had nothing but positive experiences and interactions across the board with staff, and maybe I've been lucky, but everyone here has always been very professional, responsive, and does their job. It was very eye-opening when I started representing some developers out of DC last year, and they were so impressed with how we were able to easily set up meetings with staff and have direct conversations with upper-level staff whenever necessary. They said to me, it's not like this in DC. So that filled me with great pride. I live in Prince George's and I work in Prince George's, and I am just truly blessed to have this opportunity to work among some of the most accomplished professionals in the country. This board has always demonstrated a high level of civility to the attorneys and the citizens who come before it, and I applaud you all. Park and Planning has done an amazing job keeping things moving during this pandemic and hasn't missed a beat. And I will close this out by saying happy holidays to all of you. And now I will move to the application that is before you. In reference to the pending detailed site plan application, DSP 19033, I would like to just make a few additional points about this project. First, I am pleased to mention that this site is located within the Oxon Hill Neighborhood Center, which, as you all know, is one of the 26 local centers under Plan Prince George's 2035. So we believe this proposal brings the county one step closer to achieving the vision of Plan 2035. This project is going to visually enhance the area. The conversion of this building from an existing office building to a hotel will include upgrades and improvements to the facade. The proposed architectural design of the building is contemporary. The exterior of the building will be finished with a new mixture of materials in different shades of gray and cream stucco and accents of fiber cement board that is designed to look like wood in varying heights on all sides of the building. The building will also be upgraded under a photometric plan for lighting, which will include building-mounted and existing pole-mounted lighting. The lighting plan will complement the building's facade. One question you all might have is which brand of hotel this will be. And you may have noticed that the signage under this application does not denote a particular brand. The applicant is still having those discussions with a few brands and has not yet made a final decision, but there is a condition that addresses this, which requires the applicant to provide more details on the signage prior to plan certification. So with that, I do not have anything further to present at this time. The applicant is in agreement, as Mr. Bishop mentioned, with the technical staff report and concurs with the findings and the conditions of approval. As such, the applicant hereby requests the board's approval of DSP 19033, and we are happy to take questions at this time. Thank you.
Okay, so before I turn to questions, I just want to take a moment to okay, so the door has been opened. Ms. Scudder, thank you for your comments. We appreciate them. Not everyone is aware of everything that happened, and I'm not going to go into detail publicly. Of course, Mr. Hunt, Mr. Bishop, the planning director, and I are aware, and of course I am in receipt of the email as well. I will reserve my comments. But we are high road, we're a high road team here, and civility is of the utmost importance to us, win, lose, or draw. We have rules, and we've implemented rules during this pandemic, which are essential, imperative for us to be able to conduct the business and to continue to propel Prince George's County forward. And we've been able to do this in a way that other entities have not. From the very beginning, from the beginning of March, when other people shut down, the district council stopped for months and months. Other jurisdictions stopped for months and months. We received calls from all over the country about how are we doing this, from Texas, from Chicago, from other local jurisdictions, from California, I mean, from so many different places. Because we are trying to continue to propel Prince George's County forward, and it is not easy, but we've developed a way to do this in order for things to work, and we're sorry if some people don't agree with that. But we try to maintain the utmost civility here, and that is critical. That is a hallmark of this board. It's a hallmark of my several terms as chair. We believe in that, and people don't always win. You know, you don't either, Ms. Scudder. Sometimes you win some, you lose some, but whatever, you will always be treated fairly, and that is essential for us. So we thank you for sharing your comments today, and for the other board members who may not be familiar, we're not going to address that at this moment. We're going to stay focused on the case itself, and that is all I wanted to share with you. But we do thank you for your comments, and we do love that tree behind you. That's going to be my plan too when I'm at home. Okay, so let's see if there are any questions of you at this time. Madam Vice Chair.
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Washington.
No questions.
Commissioner Dorner.
No questions, but I just want to thank you for bringing forward enough conversion in the county. We haven't had a whole lot of the conversions lately. We've done a few office to condo kind of deals, but this is potentially where we need to start going as a county, is looking at how do we kind of go back and forth between some of the land uses if we have vacancy rates and cap rates that aren't supporting the local businesses. So I'm glad to see these kinds of projects coming forward. So thank you for your help and for your client.
Okay, thank you. And Commissioner Giraldo.
I have no questions. I just wanted to thank Ms. Scudder for her comments, and I want to echo the comments that you had, Madam Chair. We are professional at all times, and we maintain that level of profession, and we work to make this county better, and we appreciate developers coming in to change buildings that are no longer useful. And if I was a guessing man, I would say that facade looks like a loft, but
okay.
No, nothing else.
The other thing I wanted to say, Ms. Scudder, was that, you know, you talked about the many years, but we've watched you evolve as well from a young attorney. It's still a young attorney, but as you've gained experience, it's been phenomenal. And as you know, we have several of us on the board are attorneys as well. We have several of them here, including our own principal counsel. We have rules to follow for reasons, and we also work closely with the courts. I mean, we know what their rules and regulations are in terms of evidence and whatnot too. So it's just important. But we've watched you grow as well. So thank you. So let's see, Mr. Nayek, do you have anything you care to add? You're muted. Hold on a second. Let's unmute you. Okay, now you have to unmute yourself. And we had him before for a second. Okay, Mr. Nayek.
Perfect.
Yeah, wonderful.
I want to thank the board and Tracy and the team, especially staff as well, for all the assistance we've received during this process. And I'd like to thank you for us presenting this application, and we're looking forward to uplift your county.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nayek. Okay. I don't think we had anyone else signed up to speak. All the evidence to the contrary. I thought I heard some barking or something. Okay. So if the board has no questions of anyone, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we adopt the findings of staff and approve GSP 2022-19033, along with the associated condition as outlined in staff's report.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Washington, seconded by Vice Chair Bailey. Vice Chair Bailey?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
Vote aye.
Okay, wonderful. The ayes have it 5-0. Thank you very much. Okay, and take good care, everyone.
Thank you all again.
We look
Happy
forward-
holidays.
Happy holidays. We look forward to the conversion. Okay, now we're going to item 9, which is detailed site plan 19007-01, the Fairways. Mr. Burke, if you can go forward, and then I'm going to turn to you, Mr. Hunt. Well, actually, I'm going to turn to you after Mr. Bruce, Mr. Hunt, okay? And Mr. Burke, before you get started, let me make sure we have everyone. Mr. Burke?
Yes, I'm here, Madam Chair.
Okay, Mr. Bruce?
Yes, ma'am, here.
Mr. Slagle?
Present, Madam Chair.
Okay, wonderful. That completes the sign-up list. Mr. Burke, and before you begin, Mr. Burke, I should have addressed this during your last case, but, you know, when you said you were going to not sing and not do us in by your singing, I am reminded that you have a fabulous singing voice.
What?
Okay. It's wrong?
Has somebody been near the shower?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you. So maybe I will regale you with Atomic Dog someday, but
Okay.
not today.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Mr.
All right.
Burke, you're on.
Good, actually, afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the Planning Board. I'm Thomas Burke with the Urban Design Section. The project before you is listed as item 9 on today's agenda. Detailed site plan DSP 19007-01 for the Fairways. The applicant is seeking approval for the architecture of 10 single-family detached models by K of Napian Homes and 8 single-family detached models by Dan Ryan Builders. The models are all located within the Fairways community, which was recently approved for the development of 210 single-family detached dwellings and 62 single-family attached dwellings. The site is located in the slide 2, please. Go. The site is located in the northern portion of Prince George's County in Planning Area 70 and Council District 4. Slide 3, please. More specifically, the site is located with frontage on Prospect Hill Road and Hillmead Road in Glendale. Slide 4, please. The site is within the OS and the R18C zones and is bounded on all sides by other residentially zoned and developed properties. Slide 5, please. This aerial photo illustrates the pre-development conditions of the site, which was previously the Glendale Country Club and Golf Course. Also shown in the center of the property is the Prospect Hill Historic Site, which is to remain in preservation. Slide 6, please. The site contains considerable topography, as shown here, as well as regulated environmental features for which impacts have been previously approved, but will be avoided to the fullest extent possible. Slide 7, please. The master plan right-of-way map identifies both Prospect Hill Road to the left of the property and Hillmead Road to the right as master plan collector roadways. These are identified in green on this plan. Slide 8, please. The site rendering shows the proposed development. For orientation, Hillmead Road is at the top and the north side of the property is on the left. The single-family attached dwellings can be seen in the upper left corner. The single-family detached dwellings are located throughout the remainder of the site, and the historic site is shown in the center of the property. This application refers to the single-family detached units only. Slide 9, please. The subject application requests the approval of 10 single-family detached models by K of Napian Homes. The specific models are listed on page 5 of the staff report and range in size from 2,348 square feet to 3,026 square feet. The models provide a variety of options and styles with a sample of each model shown on this and the following slides. Architectural features such as varied gable roof lines, dormer windows, slide 10, please. On the Baltimore elevation E, showing eave brackets or corbels. On the slide 11, please. A variety of siding materials are available. Slide 12, please. Front entries defined with columns, side lights, and transom light windows. Slide 13, please. Cottage-style front facades. Slide 14, please. Varying garage door treatments. Slide 15, please. Again, a mix of siding material, roofline, and entryway options. Slide 16, please. Front porches. Slide 17, please. And again, options with the cottage appeal. Shed dormer, drop gable ends, and carriage house garage door options. Slide 18, please. And finally, options for window treatments, such as stone lintels, decorative crossheads, and shutters. Slide 19, please. Then Kenny, for the remaining slides, if you could just progress them every 5 or so seconds, that would be great. I don't need to speak to the specific slides from here on. Thank you. So this application also requests the approval of 8 single-family detached models by Dan Ryan Builders. The specific models are also listed on page 5 of the staff report and range in size from 2,848 square feet to 3,964 square feet. Each model presents a variety of options and styles with architectural features such as varied roof lines, front porches, varied siding materials and styles, dormer windows, front entries defined with the columns, transom, and sidelight windows, eave brackets, window treatments with stone or brick lintels, decorative crossheads, and shutters. The staff report contains recommendations to incorporate a minimum of 3 standard architectural features on all side elevations. 4 such features, including a water table of brick or masonry on all highly visible side elevations, that no 2 units directly adjacent or across the street from each other may have identical front elevations, and that 60% of the units feature a full brick or masonry front facade. Also, the Historic Preservation Commission met on November 17th regarding the proposed architecture for this community and have offered conditions to exclude certain features from certain lots and to provide the location and language for interpretive signage on the fitness trail. The findings for these recommendations can be found starting on page 7 of the staff report. With that, the urban design staff recommends that the planning board adopt the findings of this report and approve detailed site plan DSP 19007-01 for the fairways, subject to the conditions found on page 9 of the staff report dated November 19th, 2020. With that, Madam Chair and members of the Planning Board, this concludes staff's presentation, and I thank you for your time.
Okay, let's see if there are any questions of Mr. Burke at this time. Madam Vice Chair?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Washington?
No questions.
Commissioner Dorner?
No questions. All these examples were really helpful to kind of flip through, so thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Giraldo?
No questions, Madam Chair.
Okay, Mr. Burke, so I'm looking at, we have Cake Hovenian Homes, and then we have the Ryan Homes, and I'm looking at slide 27. The right side of the Creighton 2. You know, that one's bothering me a little bit in terms of features.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair. Yeah, and that was kind of the an inspiration for the condition that they provide at least 3
okay.
Architectural features.
Okay. Thank you so much. So.
Thank you.
But the rest of them look really, really nice. And since you can see my home on these, I'm right there. I know the nice quality of these homes will be helpful to my neighborhood. But they're very, very beautiful. But I'm thankful for those extra conditions, Mr. Burke. So now, I'm going to turn it to Mr. Bruce. And Mr. Bruce, let me just start out by asking you this question. Are you in agreement with the staff recommendation?
Yes, ma'am, we are in agreement.
Okay, so therefore, is there anything you feel compelled to add at this point?
No, ma'am, sure do not.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so very much. So is there anyone else who wanted to submit? Mr. Slagle, is there anything you feel compelled to add at this moment?
No, Madam Chair, just in support of the applicant if needed.
Thank you. There is no one else on our sign-up sheet. I'm going to, before I go to get to a motion, Mr. Hunt, is there anything you'd like to add at this point?
Yes, Madam Chair. Again, for the record, James Hunt, Development Review Division. Just want to take a moment real quick to this is actually going to be Tom Burke's last presentation as a member of the Development Review team. He has accepted a position with the Parks and Recreation Department, still with Prince George's County. So it's a bittersweet moment for us, but wanted to make sure we told the board that information, and also to let Mr. Burke know how appreciative we are on all the work that he's done for the department, as well as being a great colleague and great out-of-the-box thinking that he provides to us and to the residents and applicants for these development projects here in Prince George's County. The good part about this also is the fact that, as he's moving over to Parks and Recreation, he's still going to be working with us daily as it relates to the development review item, just doing comments and reviews for those particular development cases. So, Mr. Burke, we really appreciate you for all that you've done. You've done a phenomenal job, and you are a great colleague for us, and we're glad to be able to reach out to you during this time. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
So thank you so much, Mr. Hunt. I thought Mr. Burke looked particularly interested this morning when we had all those Parks and Recreation presentations today, and he was just gleaming at the Festival of Lights and everything, and you could tell he was excited about that. But we're really thankful to you, Mr. Burke, for all that you've given to the Planning Department, all that you've given to the Commission, and we're thankful that you're staying within the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission and staying on the Prince George's County side on top of that with our Department of Parks and Recreation, and that you will be providing guidance. I don't know, tell us what you will be doing?
So I will still be in the development review side of operations with the Parks Department. Okay. So I'll be weighing in on mandatory dedication of parkland and fees in lieu and that sort of thing.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And I really do. My time with the planning office has just been amazing, and I'm often and frequently reminded what an incredible system that I've joined into here, and what an amazing family that everybody in the commission is. It's just awe-inspiring, and I love it. And as far as the Festival of Lights, yes, I was very interested because we haven't been this year, but I do go every year with my children, and it's an amazing event.
Don't miss it this year. It's spectacular. You know what? Thank you for all that you've given. I'm going to turn to our board members for a motion, and if you have any comments for Mr. Burke, that would be appreciated as well. Is there a motion to?
Madam Chair, I would like to make the motion, but before I do, let me also extend my congratulations to you, Mr. Burke. We will miss you on this side, but see you on the other side, hopefully. And please know, as a result of this being your last presentation, I'm insisting that there's a return performance for you to serenade us, whether it is a Parliament serenade or some other. Seems like that cat's way out of the bag now. And so with that, Madam Chair, I'd like to move that we adopt the findings of Mr. Burke's staff and approve DSP-19007-01 along with the associated condition as outlined in staff's report.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Washington, seconded by Vice Chair Bailey. Vice Chair Bailey?
I vote aye, but Mr. Burke, you did not have to leave just to keep from singing. It's not that serious. But thank you for your service, and we look forward to continuing to see you from time to time. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Commissioner Washington,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Dorner,
So I would not vote aye, but I'll say that I would probably be leaving too if they made me sing. So I totally understand that if you have any.
Commissioner Dorner, we might be leaving with you if you sang.
You've been great. I'm glad to hear that in sort of the bittersweet departure, you're staying in the commission, and it's nice to know that you have the opportunity to grow in different ways across the commission, and I hope you take advantage of that and enjoy it, and we look forward to continuing to work with you.
Thank you so much.
And Commissioner Giraldo.
Commissioner Giraldo, that's me. Mr. Burke, I vote yes first.
Okay.
But I wanted to thank Mr. Burke for his years of service. And look forward to hearing you sing Flashlight.
That is too funny. Okay, so the ayes have it 5-0. Clearly you've been wished well, and we're thankful that you're still with us, Mr. Burke. And it seems like you've got some practicing to do in the shower, and so next time you come back before us on one of our development review cases, or next time we see you and we have a party or something, a celebration. So you've got the whole gamut of Parliament songs. So there you go. All the best to you. Okay,
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much. And this would have to be in the form of a one commission event. I won't do this. I won't do this to the planning board.
Okay.
During a hearing.
Okay. Well, thank you. And actually, that's a good thing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best. Okay, the next item that we have on our agenda is item 11. Item 11 is a request for reconsideration hearing for detailed site plan DSP 19045 Royal Farms Greenbelt. Let me make sure we have everybody we need. Adam Bossi, are you on?
Present, Madam Chair.
Wonderful. Mr. Haller, are you on? There you are.
I'm present, Madam Chair.
Wonderful. Mr. Nelson, are you on?
Present, thank you.
Wonderful. Ruth Grover has asked that her name be withdrawn from this. So those are, I think that's the three people that we have signed up for this. Mr. Bossi, do you want to go first, or do you want to put it on Mr. Haller as his request? You can say what you need to say. And then we also have our counsel with us, our principal counsel, Mr. Warner. Mr. Bossi?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'll be brief.
Okay.
So good afternoon again, Madam Chairwoman and members of the Planning Board. For the record, Adam Bossi with the Urban Design Section. As you mentioned, item 11 today is a request for reconsideration of the Planning Board's decision on detailed site plan DSP 19045 for Royal Farms Greenbelt. This decision is reflected in the board's resolution 4, which was adopted on November 12th. This request for reconsideration was filed by the applicant's attorney, Mr. Haller, in accordance with Section 10A of your Rules of Procedure. And in essence, this request seeks to allow persons of record an additional opportunity to provide testimony about information added to the record after the original publication of the staff report. The request is further detailed in the applicant's letter dated November 18th and in staff's memorandum dated November 24th, both of which were in your backup material. The latter staff memo does also include a list of those pieces of information that were received after the publication of the staff report, and does include a page number where you can find those in the lengthy backup material that was posted with this today. Madam Chair, that captures the general nature of the request. If the board would find it helpful, staff did prepare a brief presentation. It's mainly about the DSP as it was approved. Other than that, I will leave it to the board and Mr. Haller to discuss this request, and I'm here to answer any questions.
I think I'm going to turn directly to Mr. Haller because this is for a very limited purpose, and although having read the letter, my view may be slightly different, but we'll see. Mr. Haller?
Thank you, and good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Thomas Haller on behalf of the applicant and the owner of the property in this case. As the board is aware, when this matter was heard on October 29th, the attorney representing certain parties in opposition, Mr. Nelson, objected or raised a concern about some of the information that was provided to the planning board post publication of the staff report. And in response to question, I think from the chair, was asked if he requested a postponement of the hearing, and he indicated that he did. The basis of that request is section 27-125.05 of the code, which suggests that new information is provided by the applicant or governmental agency after the publication of the staff report, that a postponement of 1 week shall be granted. At the time that the discussion was held before the planning board, I did not have a copy of that statutory provision in front of me, and was of the belief, which I expressed to the chairman at the time of the hearing, that while I understood that Mr. Nelson had the right to request a continuance, I thought that the board had the discretion to not grant a postponement for a week. But after the hearing and looking at the statute clearly says that in the event that new information is provided, that the postponement shall be granted. And while I understand this is a unique case in that the information that was provided was clarification information that was provided to address conditions of a preliminary plan which had previously not been found, and was in response to issues raised by Mr. Nelson and by other opponents to the application. In looking at the statute, I think that a postponement of a week would have been the preferable course to address any administrative concerns. And having looked at the staff report and their recommendation regarding the reconsideration, I agree with their rationale that in this particular case that it is probably the most appropriate path to grant a reconsideration. As the rules of procedure indicate, that the issue dealing with reconsideration is whether or not it's in furtherance of substantial public interest or other good cause. And I think in this particular case, in order to make sure that the record is clear that all parties of record were given an opportunity to adequately address any information which they felt was new, as opposed to clarification or responsive information, I would request that the board reconsider this and schedule a hearing to allow all parties of record to respond to that information. Obviously, in hindsight, it would have been far preferable from the applicant's perspective to simply postpone the case for 1 week back then as opposed to 2 months now. But to ensure that the record that's transmitted to the council is clean, and to avoid a possibility of a remand at that point in time, I would request that the council reconsider at this point to give Mr. Nelson and any other parties of record an opportunity to respond to the new information. With that, answer any questions that you have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Haller. I'm going to, so from my standpoint, I consider this other good cause, in the substantial interest, and in an abundance of caution, I would consider this other good cause. I think it's really, it's important to have but it's limited and depending on how the vote goes. It's limited to address the new information that was submitted, and during the hearing there was some question about the new information, whether it was new or clarifying, and so that we can revisit that at the time. But it does give, in addition to giving that 1 week that Mr. Nelson, on behalf of his clients and other parties of record, might have needed, it actually provides more time. So I would support I think the request for that purpose. So depending on what everyone else has to say first. So let me see if there are any questions.
Don't I have the opportunity to be heard, Chairwoman?
Yes, I didn't call you yet. Of course you have the opportunity to be heard. I have to.
I know, but you indicated your vote before I've addressed the issue.
I did not indicate my vote. I said I'd be inclined to, depending on what everyone has to say. I haven't heard from you yet. So your testimony and information is vital to this as well. I just want to see now if the board has any questions of Mr. Haller as the applicant, and then I will call upon you, Mr. Nelson. Okay. So now, Madam Vice Chair, are there any questions for Mr. Haller?
No questions from Mr. Haller at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Washington?
No questions.
Okay. Commissioner Dorner?
Just to be succinct, Mr. Heller, the new information, quote unquote, is that the information from the city of Greenbelt?
New information is listed at the bottom of the staff report. There are 4 items that were listed there, and the 4 items that are referenced is the letter from the city of Greenbelt, the 2 memoranda that I submitted to the planning board, one dated October 13th, and the other dated October 27th, and then the staff's supplemental memorandum clarifying their staff report dated October 22nd. So those are all listed at the bottom of the staff report.
Yeah, page 3. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions, Commissioner Doerner?
No, that was it. I'm not sure that most of that is actually new, but the city of Greenbelt letter might be. So
okay.
I look forward to hearing from Mr. Macy as well.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Giraldo?
Madam Chair.
Did you say no questions?
I don't have any questions, Matt.
Okay, thank you.
No questions.
Okay, now, Mr. Nelson?
Thank you. Macy Nelson here. I'm counsel for citizens and small business owners in the Greenbelt community. My clients oppose the request for reconsideration. Yesterday, Todd Pounds, the attorney for the city of Greenbelt, telephoned me and instructed me to inform the planning board that the city of Greenbelt also opposes the request for reconsideration. And he asked me to inform the planning board that the city joins in my arguments. I have a preliminary matter to make. We assert that this planning board does not have the legal authority to hear this request for reconsideration today. Section 27-125.05 requires the filing of a staff report 2 weeks before the scheduled hearing. Today is December 3. The staff report was filed November 24, 2020. So this hearing today violates the express requirements of 27-125.05. So for that reason, as a preliminary matter, I assert that the planning board doesn't even have the authority to hear the request today. And I'd like a ruling on that preliminary matter before I address my remaining substantive arguments.
Okay, so I will turn to Mr. Warner, our principal counsel on this matter, because I'm not sure if we have I don't know how much of a different staff report we have. I think I'll just turn to Mr. Warner. And then
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's David Warner, Principal Counsel. Listening for the first time to Mr. Nelson's argument, I would say I disagree with it for 2 reasons. One, this is a matter to evaluate a board policy, and a board policy about whether a matter should be reconsidered. It's not a quote unquote zoning or site plan case, which is what 27-125.05 requires a 2-week staff report for. And this memorandum from Adam Bossi is not a staff report in any event anyway. It's a memo. So I don't agree with his position.
Mr. Nelson, let me ask you a question. I know you have some other issues to raise, but I'm curious because at the last hearing you said there wasn't enough time for you to consider the new information, and this affords you time to address the new information even more than a week. So I'm trying to understand what your opposition is to the additional time. I'm not sure. I don't think, if you've spoken, I don't think we hear you. Have you said anything?
No, I was. Okay. No, I have other points to raise. I think it's important for the planning board to rule on my threshold issue. I heard Mr. Warner's opinion. I disagree with it. But if the planning board is going to rule against that argument, I'll go on to my substantive points, but I think my clients are entitled to a ruling on that issue, on that argument, on that threshold jurisdictional argument.
Mr. Nelson, you know, we're trying to accommodate what you wanted. You wanted the additional time for these cases, and after Mr. Haller submitted his request for reconsideration. Number one, this is not a staff report per se. It is a memo addressing the request for reconsideration. It's not a staff report on a case because we already had that. So number one, and you've heard that from our counsel, number one. Number two, it gives you what you've always said that you wanted, so I'm a little bit baffled by that.
All right, I'll respond to that question. I'm an advocate for my clients. One of my objectives for my client is to preserve their resources so we can get to the end of this case. And the effect of this request for this reconsideration has the effect of exhausting my client's financial resources. The planning board will recall that there was a hearing first scheduled on October 15, 2020. We knew that staff was requesting a postponement, but the planning board heard the request for postponement at the very end of the hearing on October 15th. So that was a full day that my client spent involved with that case. We came back on October 15th. We had a full hearing on the merits of the case. The planning board decided the case, issued a resolution approved on November 12th, mailed it on the 17th. Then today is the third hearing. We've been here since 10 o'clock today. This is the third hearing. If the court were to grant the request, we'd have to come back for a fourth hearing. I assert on behalf of my clients that process is not fair, that there was we tried the case on October 15th. I made a point argument. The planning board considered it. Mr. Haller argued. Mr. Warner weighed in on it. It was not an issue of first impression. It was merely me citing a section in the zoning ordinance. I lost the issue. The resolution was issued. We intend to appeal, and to require my clients to go through a fourth hearing, I assert is prejudicial to them. And I would add also that the mechanism by which we got this hearing strikes me as unfair. The applicant filed, the resolution was issued on the 17th. The applicant submitted by mail, according to stationery, a request for reconsideration. We didn't know that. We learned about it by looking at the planning board agenda and seeing that this case was on the agenda before we had even been informed of the request for reconsideration. How did that happen? How did the planning board get this case on the agenda before we even knew that the applicant had requested a reconsideration? Did the applicant hand deliver the request to the planning board? Did the applicant email it to the planning board? Did the applicant telephone the planning board? They mailed it to us. We received the notice on November 20th and discovered the day before that it was on the agenda.
Okay, so let me stop you for a second, Mr. Nelson. Two things. One, I know you said that you were on since 10 o'clock this morning, but the planning board, the development review portion starts at 10:30, so we had administrative items, and that was clearly publicized. Number two, I assure you that nobody hand delivers anything to the planning board. Nobody hand delivers anything to this board. Nobody emails directly to this board. So I can't speak to that. Things are when the request is made. I guess it goes through the planning board. It doesn't come directly to us. So I don't know. But one thing you did raise, you said you didn't know about this until you saw the agenda. Did I misunderstand you or hear you correctly?
Well, I'll reiterate. Ruth Grover, who works for me, tracks the planning board agendas. She called me up, I think on the 19th or the 20th, on the morning of the 20th, and said, Macy, what's this on the agenda? We have a reconsideration. What's this about? I said, I haven't heard anything. It was on the agenda on the website. Then when my mail arrived on November 20th, I have a copy of the letter from the applicant to you, dated to the chairwoman, dated November 18th, and the correspondence indicates that it was mailed to you as it was mailed to me. And I say, how in the world did the planning board get this case on the docket, on the agenda, before they got the letter and before I got my letter? Normally, the way I was raised in the law is if an advocate communicates with a tribunal, you communicate with the adversary at the same time. This clearly did not happen in this instance.
Okay.
Somehow, some way, the applicant was able to get this case on the docket before he even knew the request was made.
Okay.
I object to that.
And I don't know, I'm hearing that for the first time, so I will have folks address that, because I don't know how, when it came in, we get our stuff right just before the case is heard, so I don't know when that came in, and I'm hesitant to suggest that there was any nefarious kind of action occurrence here. I don't. Nobody hand delivers anything to us. And the worst, when you said telephones the board, I assure you nobody telephones any of us. That's ex parte. So I'm sure, I guarantee you that didn't happen. But I don't know who's going to address this. Mr. Haller, perhaps you can address that. Who's going to? Are you going to address it? Mr. Hunt?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Wow.
Okay, well.
So, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. You want me to go ahead? Sorry.
Or you go ahead and then I'll follow up on your comment.
Mr. Hunt?
Okay, yes, staff received the request on November the 18th, and immediately following, Mr. Burke can kind of, I'm sorry, I apologize. Ms. Kosak and I also talked to this as well. So the letter was received on November the 18th, and upon receiving that, but there's a time period that's required for us to go ahead and schedule it within that 10-day time period, I believe, and we can speak to that a little bit later. I think Mr. Warner can speak to that as well. And so that's exactly what happened. And Ms. Kosak, are you available?
Yes, hi. Good morning, everyone. Jill Kosak from the Urban Design Section. Yes, the request for reconsideration from Mr. Haller was stamped as received by the Planning Department on November 18th. The requests for reconsiderations have to be scheduled to be heard by the board within 30 days of the receipt. So, it's a relatively short time frame. In consideration of the hearing schedule within December, we placed the request hearing on December 3rd to fit in with the agendas, and then the mailing for the hearing was sent out immediately, which has to be done 10 days prior to this hearing on the 3rd. So everything was done, again, moved quickly because of this 30-day time frame requirement.
Okay. And then Mr. Haller, you get to explain as well. So we got it on the 18th. Mr. Nelson is saying that he got it on, I think, on the 20th. Mr. Haller?
Right, and I hand-delivered a copy of the request to the Dropbox maintained by Park and Planning at the County Administration Building on the 18th, and I emailed a copy to staff to let them know that it had been delivered, and that's why it was stamped in on that date. And then I also made sure that copies were mailed first thing on the 18th, which is why Mr. Nelson got it on the 20th.
Okay.
Madam Chair, Adam Bossi from the Urban Design Section as well. In your backup material for today, there is the notification letter that staff did send out on November 19th. It's actually the first page of your backup document.
Okay. So you so let me be clear. You hand delivered it to a Dropbox because the board you did not hand deliver anything to the board because the board does not get that. So you hand delivered it to the Dropbox. You then, Mr. Bossi then turned around the next day and sent the notice to the parties of record, and then you, Mr. Haller, mailed yours on the same day, November the 18th, to Mr. Nelson. I will say this, if maybe the thing to, you mailed it the same day, but maybe we got ours a little earlier because you hand delivered it, and maybe the thing to have done would have been to email it to Mr. Nelson. But okay. Mr. Nelson, did anybody else on park and planning have any other additional comment on that?
Yes.
Okay, hold on, Madam Planning Director.
Madam Chair, this was performed in the regular course of business, the way we operate with all requests for reconsiderations. We do not follow the procedures under the zoning ordinance because this is not a hearing under the zoning ordinance. This is a reconsideration request, which is provided for under your rules of procedure. And everything that was done in accordance with those rules of procedure. This is nothing extraordinary.
Thank you. And I didn't think anything different necessarily, but I was saying, Mr. Haller, so that is how we got it, I guess. Mr. Haller indicated how we got it. Okay, Mr. Nelson?
Yes, thank you. I have an additional basis for my objection. It's my professional opinion there were serious shortcomings in the application, serious shortcomings in the statement of justification, and I believe that one of the motivations for the request for reconsideration was for the applicant to try to fill in the gaps of their presentation, because they're concerned my clients will appeal. They're concerned that I'm going to raise those shortcomings, and they want a second bite of the apple to fill in the gaps to try to strengthen their case. I object to that process. There was a hearing. My clients conform with each of the rules. My client should not be required to participate in 4 planning board hearings when there should have been just one. So for all those reasons, on behalf of my citizen clients, the citizens and the small business owners who have a long-term commitment to this community, that we request the planning board deny the request for reconsideration. Let this case proceed in its current posture. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Nelson, what you've just indicated was your belief that the applicant wants a second bite at the apple. You have no way of knowing that. You did say belief. I have no way of knowing that. The board has no way of knowing that. But what we do have in there in the staff report was originally based on why you said we had the new information that you didn't have time to see. So any reconsideration would be limited to those 4 items specified on page 3. And so are you saying that those 4 items on page 3 gives the applicant a second bite at the apple?
I believe we're going to hear from Wes Guckert. He'll be there. He was
How do we know
filling the
he's going to
gaps
be there?
on the fly at the last hearing, and I predict the plan is for them to do it again. So the basis for my objection are as follows. Number 1, the staff report was untimely. Number 2, it's unfair to require my clients to participate at their own expense, great expense.
Mr. Nelson, you've already said that. You're being repetitive at this point. You've said that already. You've given your reasons, but the last reason you just gave was speculative because you were saying that you believe that the applicant wants a second bite at the apple to submit additional information, and that Mr. Guckert is going to provide additional information, and we have no way of knowing that. And my question is, on those, if it's limited to those 4 items as specified, do you still believe that they will funnel new information on those 4 things?
Would the planning board consider a ruling that Mr. Guckert would not be permitted to testify?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Haller.
I have no intention of submitting any additional information to the record. The sole purpose was to give Mr. Nelson, when he requested the hearing, which was an opportunity, an additional time to respond to the information we submitted. I would say, however, that if Mr. Nelson responds to that information and provides and raises questions, Mr. Guckert should be permitted to answer those questions as he would have done the week after had this case been postponed. But we will provide and will commit that we will not provide any written information, any studies, any reports into the record prior to the planning board's consideration of this request. That's not the purpose of the request. The purpose of the request is to give Mr. Nelson the additional time that he requested at the planning board hearing because he indicated he didn't have sufficient time to evaluate the information that was provided.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, so to be clear, you're saying you are not intending to provide any additional information, but should Mr. Nason or his clients or the parties of record provide information on those 4 items that requires rebuttal, then you will do only in that case, only in that situation. Is that correct, Mr. Howler?
That's correct, as I would have been permitted to do the next week had we postponed the hearing for a week.
Okay, and I'm going to take exception to calling it 4 hearings, because there weren't 4 hearings, because there was a continuance in there too. So, all right, Mr. Nelson, in addition to the items that the basis for your opposition now to the additional time, is there anything else that you have to add at this point?
No, I do have a motion to make in the event there's a ruling against my clients on this issue, but I'll wait until there's a ruling.
There's a motion.
Okay, you have a motion
Yes.
to, okay.
I'll just say, in the event the planning board grants the motion for reconsideration, I would like to file a petition for reasonable fees and expenses associated with preparing for and attending this hearing and preparing for and attending the rescheduled hearing if it's rescheduled, but only if the planning board grants the request for reconsideration. I think it's only fair to my citizen clients that they be made whole. They didn't create this problem. They didn't submit the information late. They didn't submit a new report from the expert witness after the timeline. So in the event the planning board grants the request for reconsideration, I would like to make a petition for reasonable fees and expenses for today and the next hearing.
Okay, you can file. You have the right to file your petition. I can't answer that right now. So let me see if the board has any questions of anyone at this time. Madam Vice Chair, any questions? Oh, Mr. Warner, do you have anything else to add? Not that you have to, but if you do. I don't want to preempt anybody.
No, only that I have no knowledge that there's any support for the petition that Mr. Nelson's requesting, or that would give you authority to grant legal fees to someone who represents.
I can't even begin to address that at this point in time. So, he has the right to file a motion, and we'll see what happens. Okay. So does the board have any questions of anyone?
No questions.
Okay. Commissioner Dorner?
Yeah, I just want to ask Mr. Haller, since you know Mr. Nelson is opposed to this and you were doing it on his behalf, do you still want to go through with it, or would you like to withdraw it? I realize that this might be kind of contingent upon his case at appeal, that he could lodge other sort of arguments if you don't allow this to happen and go forward, but I wasn't sure if you wanted to even keep going forward with it.
Mr. Dern, thank you for the question. I do, because I'm assuming that Mr. Nelson will not waive his right to raise an objection at the council that the board should have granted him a continuance. And if the council, if they agreed with his position, would have no choice but to remand this case to the planning board.
So then,
which means he'd have another hearing anyway. I'm trying to avoid that occurrence. I want Mr. Nelson has the right to continue to raise any objections that he wants with regard to the planning board's decision, but from the standpoint of making sure that the record is clean and that he has had an opportunity to respond to all of the information provided, that he's got the right to do that. As I indicated in my request, the reason that the applicant submitted the information was not to disadvantage any party of record, but to answer questions raised by the parties of record. And so if Mr. Nelson needs more time to respond to that, I'm trying to give him that time so that isn't an issue with the council.
So let me make sure I heard that correct. So basically, the reason for that some of the information was late was in response to the information that the parties of record had, or questions or information that they had submitted. Is that it? To clarify, is that what you're saying, Mr. Haller?
That is absolutely correct.
And that's what
the reason the information
precipitated
was
it.
submitted.
Okay, that's what precipitated the additional information. Okay. Commissioner Dorner, did you have additional questions?
No, I think Mr. Nelson is almost waiving his right by trying to not support this reconsideration. Like, I would assume that the council would rule in that way, but no, that's fine. We can go to the vote.
Okay. Commissioner, did I ask Commissioner Washington, did I call on you yet? No.
You did not, but I have no questions. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Giraldo?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Then what's the pleasure, what's the pleasure of the board? Does anyone, Mr. Bossi, do you have anything else to add?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board with regard to the request for reconsideration based on, well, whatever, could be mistake or other good cause?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the request for reconsideration for GSP-19045 based on other good cause, and specifically and limited to allowing persons of record to submit additional information and testimony regarding the 4 items as detailed in staff's report at the bottom of page 3.
We have a motion. A motion by Commissioner Washington, seconded by Vice Chair Bailey. Vice Chair Bailey?
How about aye?
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
But I'll just add for discussion, I think it's a little bit absurd to have the consideration since Mr. Nelson is opposed to it and it's more for his favor. But because it is being requested by the applicant, they have that right. And I guess in that way we should go forward. But I think this is a little bit obnoxious to kind of keep going forward if he doesn't want to do it.
Okay. Commissioner, Commissioner Giraldo?
Madam Chair, I vote aye.
Okay.
The applicant has the right to ask for the motion for reconsideration.
Okay. The ayes have it 5-0. It will be set in for another day. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Thank you, Mr. Haller. Thank you to everyone. And I'm going to, let me see.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to go to closed session, which is pursuant to Section 3-305B3 and B7 of the General Provisions Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland. We need a motion to go into closed session for purposes of acquisition of real property and to consult with counsel.
So moved.
So moved.
No, you.
Second.
Okay, well, Commissioner Washington was first on the draw with the motion. You know what? I'm gonna give it to you. Well, who seconded it? I think it's Commissioner Dorner who actually seconded it. So, Madam Vice Chair?
But aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
Vote aye.
Okay. The ayes have it 5-0. So we're going to go into closed session. We will come back to close out after this. Okay. So thank you. And we'll resume back here. We can probably get a key here. Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm trying to figure out what time to come back here. Okay, we'll resume back here at 2:00. Okay?
Okay.
But we're going into closed session now. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. No, we need a motion to come out of closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to come out of closed session. Motion by Commissioner Washington, second by Commissioner Dorner. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. I figured it was safe
Aye,
that
yeah.
that one time. Okay, so we have
Aye.
that's 4-0. Okay. Okay, we need, so the planning board is back in open session. As we indicated, we would resume at 2:00. We need a motion to ratify the action taken in closed session. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Okay, you know what? You got a delayed reaction. I'm gonna give it to Commissioner Giraldo because he, like the old Avis commercial, he tries. All right, okay.
I try hard.
Yes, you do.
I don't know what, I'm having trouble.
Okay.
I'm having trouble with my Wi-Fi.
Okay, well, all right, we're just gonna give it to you this time, okay? So a motion by Commissioner Giraldo. We're gonna give our typical motion maker a break, seconded by Commissioner Doerner. Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Doerner?
Good eye.
Commissioner Giraldo? No, wait a minute, where'd he go?
Vote aye.
Okay, the ayes have it.
Vote aye.
The ayes have it 4-0. Okay, so that's wonderful. And now I have to turn to Mr. Hunt for the most important question of the day. Mr. Hunt, is there any additional business to come before the planning board today?
There are no additional items before the planning board today, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Planning board is adjourned. We wish you all a wonderful week ahead. And we have 2 more hearings in December. And this is the big countdown. Okay, take care, stay safe, and look out for one another. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Meeting adjourned.